Welcome to Advanced Vedic Mathematics course, 4th week. Lesson 25. In the previous lesson, we had been focusing upon 8 folds of nature, Prakriti, which makes it Asht Prakriti. Brahma, creator's space, and we know the creator's space is having 4 space body, a raised to power 4 into 8b cube. The symbolic representation for hypercube 4 is there is a solid boundary of 8 components, and at the center there is a transcendental origin, a transcendental seal, and hypercube 4 we know is a 4 folds 2, 3, 4, 5 with sum up 14, and hypercube 14 gives us 29 geometric versions, and these 29 geometric versions are hypercube 14 are leading us to the creator's space presided by Lord Brahma of TC value 29, and it is the solid boundary of 8 components which is with its strip off is dimensionalizing the outer space as a solid order 5 space, and with its strip off there happens a cosmic window, and through this cosmic window there is inflow of 7 space content of transcendental order from the orb of the sun, and it manifests here, and 5 space is having 3 space as a dimension and 1 space as a dimension of dimension. These together make it 9. So the eighth fold gets a 9th fold as a base fold, and it is this base fold which is Jeev Bhoot of TC values 16 plus 19 is equal to 35, and it is the TC value of Parbrahm. So see the nature having its 8 folds, and these 8 folds of nature are having a transcendental seal, and this transcendental seal, a 5 space, is of the features 5, 3 and 1, and it is this feature which is to be revisited to understand, to comprehend, to be imbibed as to how the eightfold nature, the solid geometry of 8 solid components of the creator's space with 3 space strip off as solid order for the outer 5 space is this outer 5 space as dimension will create 7 space which has a reach up till the orb of the sun 6 space, and it is because of the spatial dimensional order of the creator's space gives a reversal And it is this reversal which takes us back through the cosmic window within the creator's space and manifests at its origin as a transcendental seal. It is this transcendental seal which, when unfolds as a visfort, and visfort as well is of TC value 29. So when the creator, with the inspiration of the transcendental Lord Shiv, five space Lord, creates a visfort here, that means when the Brahma, the four space, is in a dynamic state and reaches the creative boundary of five space, and consequential visfort as it happens, it is regulated under the self-referral order of the reach back from the orb of the sun within the creator's space. Now, we have already seen that the first eight folds of nature are leading us to total TC value 141. With this background of the eightfold nature of 141 TC value, when is having a six space as 35 double digit numbers of a sixth place, and this value as a Jeev Bhoot 35 makes 141 plus 35 as 176, which, as per the rule of Ekadike Purve, leads us to value 177. Let us have a pause. We know 1 to 4 has 5 factors, 1 to 5, 6, 1 to 6 has 8 factors, 1 to 8, 20, 1 to 20, 37, and 1 to 37, 77, and 1 to 77 as 177. See the sequential reach at first step, second step, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. This reach within a three space which has four space as an origin. So it is happening within three space. So it is 0 to 7. It is this feature which is taking us to 177. That means when the Jiva Bhoot, the Chetan Prakriti, so the eightfold nature is a Jad Prakriti, that is a mundane nature, and mundane nature is leading us to value 141, and when it gets a consciousness base and further value 35, 176, which leads to 177, and also the 176 is 1 into 11 into 16. So see the phenomenon that the transcendental seal at the origin of the creator's space. We are having a four space, and its dimensional frame is a quadruple spatial dimensions value 2 raised to power 4. The origin of this dimensional frame is the transcendental as a transcendental seal, and we know 5 space is having 11 geometries range. So these 11 geometries range within the dimensional frame is manifesting for us a value 176, which amounts to the manifestation of a Jeev Bhoot, a consciousness base of value 35 for Jad Prakriti of value 141. We have to sit comfortably and we have to appreciate as to how Srimad Bhagavad Gita in its chapter 7, which is titled as Gyan Vigyan Yoga. So this Gyan Vigyan Yoga, the knowledge and the scintilled essence thereof, is the discipline of Saptam Adhyay. And it is this Adhyay which in a way can be said to be a reach, which can be said to be a stage for a takeoff for the linear order 3 space. The linear order 3 space creates 1 space as a dimension, creates 3 space as domain, and it is of 7 versions. It is this feature which has its ultimate limit, and it takes us to 4 space, hypercube 4, and hypercube 4 is a 4 space domain enveloped within a solid boundary of 8 components. So there is going to be a transition from G37 7 geometries of 3 space, say of a cube, hypercube 3 as a domain, and then hypercube 3 as having 4 space as the origin. So there happens to be a transition. How to transcend, and what is the necessity of this transcendence, and what are the mathematics features, what are sciences and technology of this transcendence from a linear order to a spatial order. In a way, it can be said that it is here where there is a transition from a linear order to a spatial order, and within plane we can have a single axis and pair of axes both. So when we will be trying to appreciate line within a plane as of distinct features, then line simpliciter. So how to reach from here to here, and for it we have to be parallel with chapter 7 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and it is here where nature has been elaborated as of 8 folds, which we call it a Jad or a mundane nature, and its transition is this is very 141, and its base is provided by 35, making it 176 is 11 into 16, and it takes us to as that the transcendental origin. When there happens to be an explosion or a visport here, then it is of 11 versions, and the dimensional frame is of value 16. And to transcend ahead where it takes us to, then we have to revisit as to what is happening at the explosion stage. And this happening is as that one of the solid boundary component has a strip off, and with that strip off there stands created a cosmic window, and there happens a transcendental cavity. So at the explosion, at the origin seat, there happens a transcendental cavity, and a cosmic window. From this cosmic window, the three-space boundary component which had strip off creates five space, and at the next spatial order seven space, it happens to be a reach up till the origin of a six space, and six space as having four space as a dimension to a dimension of a dimension. So within a surface there happens to be a transition of its own as of a curve, and so there happens reversal for the flow which had initiated at the, and same from within the cosmic window reaches a transcendental cavity, and within a transcendental cavity there happens what it happens, that it now creates a double digit numbers phenomenon, six place value system. These 35 double digit numbers of are creating us the TCV for Udgit. We know that when we begin with Om at second phase as a Paranava, then Om, A, Uma, Om, Omkar, and it is at the fifth phase that we are reaching at Udgit. It is this Udgit reach which is an happening. For it we have to go to a Chandogya Upanishad, and once we will be going to Chandogya Upanishad, then we will be in the seventh chapter of it having a Narad Sanat Kumar Samvad, which will be taking us to as to how Narad, TCV 21, having a knowledge of a Nam 20, means the entire Vedic literature, names, words, formulations he knows, but still he is not satisfied and he wants to reach at the ultimate bliss. So we have to start from now and sequentially to a walk, and finally we will be reaching at where we will be reaching at a Bhuma. Now these are the steps which we have to transcend, and this transcendence is happening within a transcendental cavity, and it is happening within the transcendental cavity which is to be learned, which is to be imbibed, and it is by imbibing it as to how within a transcendence cavity there is happening a creator's space as a boundary, as a creative boundary. There are as many as 10 components, there are 10 Brahmas, and this is of a solid order, and it splits into 8 subcubes, and these 8 subcubes, when are synthesized as the upper part of 4 subcubes and the lower 4 subcubes, then we will see that the total structural components of the above part are 75 and the lower part 50, and in between there is a structural plate and it is of 25. We will be coming to it and we will be understanding it how from 6 space to 28 perfect number 1 to perfect number 2 we will reach at perfect number 3. It is this happening within the transcendental cavity, and this part, upper part at which we are, this is the TCV value of Ekadike. So the first Ganita Sutra as the source of Sutra, as the starting point, will sequentially take us to the entire unfolding process as it happens, and the self-referral reorganization. There is happening a Visphot explosion at the origin seat, And as we know that the transcendental origin itself is having a self-referral origin, and so there happens a resynthesis. So dimensional supplet and dimensional resynthesis are the pair of phenomena with which we have to be parallel. Once we will be imbibing these, once we will be parallel with these, then certainly we will be parallel with Vedic systems. Sit comfortably, be parallel with it, have sequential steps, imbibe it how the mundane eightfold nature is acquiring a consciousness based Jiva Bhoot. This is to be imbibed. Imbibe it. Thank you very much.